In this video I wanted to tell you about two shoes that I think are better than the Glycerin 22. Hello everybody and welcome to Fordy Runs. My name is Chris Ford and I'm a running coach who loves to make YouTube videos about running shoes and running content in general. So make sure you subscribe before you carry on with the rest of this video. Now recently we did a video on the Brooks Glycerin 22, which before I say anything else is a good shoe and a great update. But there's two shoes which I think offer a little bit more than this. So how this video is going to work, we're going to actually run through the stats and features of each of the shoes, and I will tell you what they are in just a second. And then I'm going to tell you why I think both of those shoes are better than the Glycerin 22. Okay people, so again, just to be clear, I don't think this is a bad shoe, and I think if you like Glycerins, you're going to love this. Because in this shoe we now have the brand new DNA tuned. Now this is a new cell technology. We've got large cells and smaller cells. The smaller cells are helping in terms of the toe off. They run from the heel down to the toe and they really help with your transition. The foam's softer, lighter feeling, and just a lot more, well, bouncier. Now the shoe's 165 pounds. It's got a 10mm drop. We've got 38mm stack in the heel. We've got this sort of double layered mesh upper. Lacing as you'd expect from Brooks, and comfort is on point. And we've got a lovely outsole which provides plenty of grip. So okay, so the first shoe which I think is better than the Glycerin 22 is the New Balance 1080 version 14. So this shoe is 160 pounds, but I've seen it cheaper. We've got Fresh Foam X in this shoe, 38mm stack as well down to 32. We've got a nice blown rubber outsole, really nice mesh upper. Now this doesn't fit true to size for me. This is a UK 10, and I will tell you in a minute why I think that's better. But before we do that, let's introduce you to the second shoe which I think is better than the Glycerin 22, and that's the Novablast 5. This shoe is 135 pounds. We've got the Flight Foam Blast Max in it. We've got over 40mm of stack. We've got the AHA Elo rubber outsole, and then we've got like this jacquard mesh upper. This does fit true to size and I think looks awesome. Right, so let's tell you why I think, well, this one's better than the Glycerin 22. Firstly, it's cheaper, it's more versatile, the foam is softer and a little bit more responsive, although for some it could be too soft, but I think you can do a lot more in this shoe than the Glycerin. It doesn't feel as restricted and as bulky as the Glycerin, and I just feel like the Flight Foam Blast Max gives you a much more responsive ride. It's also lighter at 240 grams versus the Glycerin's near 300 grams, and it's noticeable on foot. The fit and the feel are both very good in both shoes, but I just think the Novablast 5 wins it purely on versatility and the fact that you can really pick up the pace in this shoe. You can go long in it, you can do everything in this shoe really well. Now the New Balance 1080 version 14 is a fraction lighter, not a lot, but a little bit lighter, but I really like the Fresh Foam X in this shoe. It just feels, again, a little bit more responsive. The DNA Tune is a great foam, don't get me wrong people, it works exceptionally well in the Glycerin and also the Glycerin Max. But for me, the Fresh Foam X just, I don't know, there's something about it that just works very well for me. It's just a little bit more, I don't know, manageable, and it might seem an odd word, but I know what I'm getting with the Fresh Foam X, and this is probably a lot more down to personal preference here actually. This is probably the closest competitor to the Glycerin 22 in fairness. The Novablast is a different price point. This is a similar sort of price point to it, but it's just something about the fit feel of the New Balance 1080 version 14 that works better for me. I just feel a little bit more comfortable in the shoe, and it just works very well for me in terms of the stuff that I like to do. So again, 4 to 6 to 10 to 12, 15 miles runs in this shoe. It just works really well, and I can pick the paces up if I want to. Like I can drop it down to 8-minute miles if I feel like I need to, but it works very well at those super easy paces. And like I said, I can transition through everything that I want to do. Comfort is great, lockdown's great, and just the fit and feel of the shoe, despite it not fitting true to size, it just works really well for me. The outsole is probably the only thing that lets it down, and the Brooks does beat the outsole on this shoe, but I can give that up, to be honest with you, because the feeling of the Fresh Foam X, I just prefer it over DNA Tuned. Now I am a huge fan of the Glycerin Max. Now I said in the video I did on this shoe that for me I'd go and buy that shoe. That is the shoe, to be honest with you, that I would buy over the Glycerin 22. I think the Brooks have made such a good shoe in the Glycerin Max that it's kind of eaten or cannibalised the Glycerin 22. Now look, if you like the Glycerin shoe and the shoe lineup, you're going to absolutely love this thing, because the DNA Tune is a game changer for the lineup. Like I said, this is not a bad shoe in any shape or form. What they've done here is transformable for the Glycerin. It is a very good shoe, and there's, to be honest with you, there's not a hell of a lot to choose between the 1080 and the Glycerin. They're very similarly matched. It's just personal preference leads me to the 1080. But at £135, you can't look away from the Novablast 5. It's the best daily trainer that's currently out there in my opinion. So this shoe will do everything the Glycerin does. It's cheaper as well, it's lighter as well, you can do a little bit more in it, it's more versatile. So that's why this is the sensible option out of all three shoes actually. So yes, Novablast 5 for the win, people, but as I said, out of these two in terms of closely matched, for me, personal preference leads me to the 1080, but you may actually prefer the Glycerin. All right, team, let me know if that's useful or not. Let me know which one you'd pick and why. Maybe I've been a bit unfair dropping the Novablast 5 in, but I think it's important that we look at all daily trainers when we're looking at these shoes. And the Novablast 5 is probably the best one that's currently out there. But yes, that's it from me, team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave me today, and I shall catch you all later.